What's up YouTube? Alex here from U-Star Gamer. Hope you're all well. So as you can see from my thumbnail, I have taken a recent trip to the R.M.C cave and also the Arcade Archive. Now the site for both of these places is in the same place in Gloucestershire, and Gloucestershire is a long way away from where I live. So I live in North Norfolk and it's probably about 4.5 to 5 hours on a good day to get there. So I left mine at 6 and drove over there, and I actually made pretty good time actually. I managed to get there for about 10:30. But when I got there a little bit early, I was greeted by Holly, who is one of the helpers there, and yeah, she's lovely. And she came out and said, would you like to see, because you're early, around where we actually fix the machines for the Arcade Archive, and and some of the repairs they do on other machines. And that, of course, we said yes. There's another chap there. We both said yeah, that'd be great. Opened the doors up to the place where they did it and showed us around for about 5 minutes. And I thought it was a great introduction of, like when you're greeted in the morning. They could have just let us sit there for about half an hour, and they didn't. So that was tops from the start, in my opinion. After that, got booked in 11 o'clock. It's up a few flights of stairs to the R.M.C. You go through a door and you're greeted by Neil, and I think the other chap there was Sam. Sorry if I got your name wrong, but yeah, to be honest, I was just blown away by what I saw. So much goodness. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you my footage of the R.M.C, and then we can talk about it when it's finished. Okay, guys. both a Mega Drive board and a 32. That's just a giant sprite key. As you can see from my footage, guys, it really is cool. It is so amazing. As you get there, you're greeted by Neil, Sam and Holly again, who sort of make it very clear that, you know, it's an interactive area and you're allowed to pretty much touch anything, pull anything out or play with anything, as long as it's not in the display cabinets. Are kind of, it's quite obvious really, you know, they're in great big cabinets, there's no doors or anything, so you know, there might be a little bit of air, taped off area maybe, you know, but anything else, it's very clear that you can be, you know, pick it up, play, take it out of the box, you know, and it's such a cool way to experience these things again. You know, there's people there that were pulling like the grandstands out going, oh my god, I haven't played these since, you know, I was a child, you know, and it was, yeah, it was a complete nostalgia overload for a lot of people there, including myself. You know, I was playing, I must admit, like when I went first straight up there, even though, you know, they make it abundantly clear, I was still not sure. Like, there's some of them were like out of the boxes and some of them were in the boxes. So I was looking, I had one in my hand which was in the box, and I was a bit like, I really want to have a go on this, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to take it out of the box. Within like seconds, Holly's sort of kind of city clocked me looking at this, and she's pulled it out, put batteries in it, and said, away you go, kind of thing. And I was like, wow, this is, you know, such a cool environment to be in. And everyone's welcome. Do you know what I mean? There was little children there, and they must have sat there for a good hour on the floor playing these games with, you know, with their parents and that. And you know, it was very cool to see that. You know, these young children, probably ages, I don't know, 6, 8, and they were enjoying stuff that was from the 70s and the 80s. You know, very happy to see that. They've also got a shop there which is full of old school games, and it's just like, oh my god, you know, if it was actually for sale, I would have spent so much, you know, my wife would have probably kicked me out because I would have spent all that money on so many of the games in there. But yeah, it's so cool to see it. And you can actually pick up some of the games in there and barcode scan it, and what happens is on the monitor then it takes it to that game and you can play that game. You know, it's amazing how they've set that up, and very great, you know, attention to detail there. I think it's fantastic. So once you come out of the shop, there's an area where they've got thousands of magazines, I imagine. Crash, Nintendo Power, you know, everything out there. There's also a little display of glass cabinet of what they called Game & Watch. Again, you know, I hadn't seen some of them for years, you know, and it's just the way they're all displayed, and you know, it makes you feel so good seeing it like that, you know. Unfortunately, you couldn't get them ones out of the cabinet because that was locked up, but you know, it was still fantastic to see them. Yeah, and just next to that area, they've got I think they called it the PC room, but in there they've got a few PCs set up. They've also had a Vectrex in there, which is very cool. They also had two cabinets, which were, one was Sega, one was Nintendo, the player's choice one, where I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, you put your money in, obviously, and you usually had 10 games in there, and you could choose what game you wanted to play. So yeah, I hadn't played one of them probably since I was about 10, 11. So playing that again brought back all them wonderful memories. And yeah, it's just so cool. So yeah, once I left the PC sort of area, I made my way around to where they've got loads of like these kind of shelving with like you name it, it's there basically. You've got Amstrad, you've got Spectrum, you've got Apple, there was an FM Towns there was a Virtual Boy, a twin Famicom, you know, all set up to look at. Not all of them were working, I don't think, because they're on display, but it was just so cool to see it all set out like that. And you know, Neil would come along and he would explain to you a bit about each one, you know. Very knowledgeable guy, loads of stuff that I've never seen before as well. And yeah, and as I'm going around, I'm thinking, oh my god, you know what I mean, I thought I knew a lot about this stuff, but obviously I don't know hardly anything really. So it was very educational as well. And but yeah, once I've moved out of that area, you've got an area where they've got every machine you can think of set up to play. You know, you had your Mega Drives there, you had your NESs there, you had your SNES, you had your Jaguar, you had your Commodore, your Amiga, your Spectrum. Yeah, loads and loads of different setups, and they've all been sort of set up where they've all got like a digital way of playing it with all the games. So you know, you could pretty much guarantee that most of the games that you played as a child would be available to play. And I sat there for probably a good hour playing on different games and experienced machines that I'd never played before, and really enjoying it, and thinking, yeah, this is fantastic, because I don't know necessarily if I would have ever probably played some of these, but getting to play them there, yeah, it was eye-opener with some of them not so good in my opinion. But nevertheless, it was cool to play them. And then in the last bit sort of to talk about, really, there was a table there with some development kits, which was very cool to see how they, you know, the machines were used to make the games back in the day. Yeah, there was like a PlayStation 2 one. Oh my god, it was like the size of a PC. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even bigger. You know, it's just so cool to see these things in the flesh. I mean, I touch them, you know, and the thing is, you know, you get 3 hours there, and I must admit, when I first turned up, I was thinking, 3 hours, is that enough time? Well, or is it too much time? You know, and to be honest, it flew by. The 3 hours I was in there, it just went just like that. It was gone, and to be honest, I was quite gutted because there was still lots that I wanted to do, but in other ways, it's good because that means I'm going to go back. So overall, yes, it is a fantastic day to go to the R.M.C cave, and I highly recommend it if you haven't been there. Right, so that's the R.M.C cave. That was a bit in the morning. That was, I think it started at 11 and finished at 2. And then it was time to go down to the Arcade Archive, which I picked that up from Alex. And what I will do is I'll show you some footage of there first, and again we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay guys. So guys, yeah, you should have just seen some footage there of the Arcade Archive. Yeah, wow. It's such a great place. Alex has done such an amazing job of putting that together. The environment it's in, you know, with the black ceiling, the mood lighting, and all the games, it is such a great place. But just before you get into the arcade, unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of this bit, like an idiot. I got carried away talking to Alex probably, and just forgot to take a bit of picture or footage of it. But you're greeted by Alex at the door, and he gets you booked in, and you go into the first little room where there's a couple of machines. I think there's a Pong. There's a Sega gunfight, a mechanical one, and he talks to you about the history of this stuff, and you can just tell and you feel it from him that how passionate he is for the games and how much he loves them, and it really shows in what I was saying about the detail of the actual arcade itself. You know, the mood lighting. He's even like on each cab, it's got a little plaque telling you the history of the game, what year it came out, a bit, you know, and you know, it's little things like that, just really, you know, very impressive in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, we had 3 hours in there, and it again just went just like that, and you know, I was pretty gutted to go, to be honest, because I was having so much fun. Some of the games I played, you know, I've got a list in front of me. I mean, I played Operation Wolf, RoboCop, Ghosts and Goblins, Silkworm, Rescue, Track and Field. Now, Track and Field, you had a competition on the day to see who could get the highest score. Now, I never really played Track and Field before that much. I do remember playing it once or twice, maybe when I was young. But he had a dedicated cab for this, and my God, I found it quite difficult where you got to try and hit the keys and then hit the thing. I couldn't get it, but I imagine with time I would. But I sucked on the day, so I didn't get any high scores. But just watching Alex play it was just amazing. You know, he is really good at that game, and it was just a joy to watch, to be honest. His son was there as well, Josh. We at one point, it was me, Alex, Josh, and his Matt, Retro Skele. I'll put a link to his channel, his YouTube channel in the description as well. And we had a 4-player one where we were all playing against each other, and it was such a great crack. Do you know what I mean? Having so much fun and having a laugh, trying to beat each other's scores. But I did come last. I wasn't very good at it, but next time I promise I'll do better. What other games have we got there? You know, like Star Wars. You know, such a great game. Gauntlet. You know, Gauntlet for me, I love Gauntlet. Just the 4-player. I played it loads back in the day. Just seeing it, you know, even the electronical sounds that it makes, you know, the speech, you know, it just takes me back. Time Pilot, another great shooter little game. You know, I love that game. Juno First, fantastic game. Defender, GB, another great game, like electronic. I think it was the first electronical kind of pinball game. Super Hang On, great game. Frogger, Double Dragon, Donkey Kong, and he's got 2 prize pieces in his collection, and that is Sheriff and Sky Skipper. Sheriff of the kind of cooker knob, as he says it is, and again, I never played it before, and as soon as I played it, I was like, oh my God, I'm instantly addicted to this, because it's right up my sort of street, that kind of game. And you know, you really need to get down there and give it a go, because when you see it on the TV or on the screen, it doesn't give it justice. You really need to have a go and enjoy it for yourself, because it's fantastic. Great game. Again, Sky Skipper, you know, the project that Alex built. I mean, if you check out Alex's channel and look through there, you'll be able to see what he's done. You know, it's amazing. Just seeing that, what he put together, it blew my mind. Do you know what I mean? How, you know, I wouldn't even know where to start with something like that. And for him to actually build that game back from scratch again, it's truly amazing. Yeah, 4 Jammer cabs there as well. With one of them, well, the one that I played, like I had MAME, and they had loads of games on there. And honestly, I've got a Jammer cab myself, which is actually not working at the minute, and it's truly inspired me to get mine going now. I really want to get mine working so I can play some of them games, because it blew me away. Not meaning that I won't go back, because I'm definitely going back, but you know, it's you know, I really want to get mine going. So yeah, guys, I cannot big it up enough. It is such a great day out, and you really need to get there if you can. So yeah, that was my adventures out to Gloucester. Unfortunately, it was another 4.5 hour journey back home. Got in about 10, half 10, I think it was. So it was about a 16-hour day, but it was worth every second of it that you know, the day. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Till the next one, take care.